gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice so happy and not play, so calling WUB. Be yourself, see yourself, this is a show, my people. Billies our hope, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution, yeah, yeah, yeah. No respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes, WUB. And all the things that will feel happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better, we got to unite. Billies, yeah. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice so happy and not play, so calling WUB. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play around, get where you need to. You can tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling? It's the show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in, WUB. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice so happy and not place, so calling WUB. Be yourself, see yourself, this is a show, my people. Billies our hope, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution, yeah, yeah, yeah. No respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes, WUB. And all the things that will feel happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better, we got to unite. Billies, yeah. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice so happy and not play, so calling WUB. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies.
Good morning, Billies. Welcome to the WUB Wake Up Billies Morning Vibes. It's Monday, the 2nd of June, 2025. Wherever you are, we hope your morning is getting off to a beautiful start. We're glad you've chosen to start your day with us here on Prem Radio and XTV. I'm your host this morning for the People's Conversation, Billies' premier morning conversation. I'm Mose Hyde, and we want to welcome everybody listening, everybody watching, everybody on apps or social media streams or simulcast coverage. Of course, always, we want you to have great health, we want your energy high, we want your vibes positive, we want you to have space, time, flexibility. We want you here, not only in attendance, in presence, but we also want you here via participation. Ultimately, that is our purpose, to try to get you into this circle of reasoning that we have until 9 this morning. You know how it works. Before we jump right into the main event, we've got to serve up the preliminaries. Before we get into the main event, we got the little warm-ups we got to serve up to you. And that means we've got some news stories for you, making news this morning from our news team. But before we get there, first thing, we've got to find out what the weather is going to look like. And for that, we turn to the National Meteorological Service. And the Met Service this morning has forecaster Tariq Matthews to tell us what the weather will look like.
Morning, Billies. Generally fair weather conditions prevail. The 24-hour forecast: sunny skies with some cloudy spells today and cloudy at times tonight. The showers or thunderstorms will be isolated, with a slight increase in shower activity expected mostly over inland areas this morning and mainly along the coast late tonight. The maximum temperatures for today will reach 89 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 96 inland, and 82 up in the hills. The low temperatures for tonight will be around 82 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 74 inland, and 68 up in the hills. The winds will be from the east-southeast at 10 to 20 knots, and the sea conditions will be choppy. A low tide will occur this morning at 8:59, a high tide this afternoon at 2:52, another low tide tonight at 10:11, and another high tide early tomorrow morning at 4:23. The sun will rise at 5:17 and will set this evening at 6:24. The moon will rise this morning at 11:34 and will set just after midnight at 12:16. The outlook for Tuesday and Tuesday night: skies will be cloudy at times. A few showers and isolated thunderstorms will affect the country, especially over the south. In the tropical weather outlook for the North Atlantic, the Caribbean Sea, and the Gulf of Mexico, tropical cyclone formation is not expected during the next 48 hours. For a review of our forecast and other products, please visit our website at nms.gov.bz. With that, we end this morning's forecast for the Belize National Met Service.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989, Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
And now news. The 5 demands of the 3 public sector worker unions negotiating with the government include a request for an increase of the minimum wage to $6. The government has responded that it would increase the minimum wage in accordance with Plan Belize 2.0 after proper engagement and consultation with all the relevant stakeholders. Dean Flowers, the president of the Public Service Union, has clarified that they are only negotiating for public offices, not for the workers in the private sector. He therefore says the government needs to show it values its own workers.
So clarify that where our request for $6 is concerned, it was never intended to force the government of Belize to enter into conversation with the wider stakeholders on increasing the minimum wage. It was to say that you as the government, as the largest employer in this country, have a duty to set the bar and to treat your workers with some dignity and respect. No government worker should be earning $5 an hour. None. All government workers should be above the minimum wage because of the public service that they provide. And so, as part of these ongoing discussions, the government of Belize will have to respond to public sector workers that are earning $5 an hour. We want public sector workers to be treated with respect and dignity, and so we're calling for $6 an hour minimum in the public service. And when the Britannia administration raises the minimum wage to $6, then they need to also raise the minimum wage for public sector workers to $7, because our workers is providing public service, the most important public service you can think of. Domestics, they keep all of us surviving, all are we healthy, and these domestics are earning $5 an hour. The individuals who cut the roadsides, who keep our streets clean, $5 an hour. Any government should be ashamed of themselves to be paying public sector worker that low rate. And remember, these people are on fixed salaries, so they don't even get an annual adjustment.
3 public sector workers unions who negotiate on behalf of teachers and public officers have always emphasized the need for transparency and accountability, as well as the prudent management of the public purse. Over the years, they have contributed to holding the government accountable by whistleblowing on wrongdoing within government ministries and departments. In an extended sit-down with Creme News XTV last week, Dean Flowers, president of the Public Service Union, shared that since the 2025 March general election, some government ministries have acquired spanking new late-model vehicles.
Immediately after elections, we started seeing a whole fleet of brand new vehicles. When the next house sitting, you guys need to go there and see all these brand new 2025 and 26 vehicles that were recently bought. In some ministries, three vehicles alone, they run there almost $1 million. These guys are rolling now in luxury. And then they have the audacity to say to public officers, no, we need to continue to throw crumbs at you, so that we could hold on hostage, just like how we hold our constituents hostage by throwing crumbs at them in the different constituencies that they represent, because that is what they do.
Was revealed this when we asked if public officers are riled up by the revelation of two questionable contracts from the Belize Airport Authority to two POP insiders.
I don't know why the Belizean people are acting surprised. This is another legacy of the Briceño administration. In 2021, the union highlighted fly-by-nights in the pharmaceutical industry, which is responsible for hundreds of millions of dollars. And the Belizean people didn't see it then. It cannot be that they're just seeing it now. We brought to their attention several fly-by-night pharmacies, several fly-by-night importers, several fly-by-night service providers. You never see somebody wake up there that day and open one dry cleaner. Come on. It's this security one that just one of many. You know how much security companies are out there? You know how much companies are out there now where they get contract for build roads? You know how many new companies are out there who all of a sudden could provide computer softwares? So this is a legacy that the Briceño administration put in place from 2021. So the fact that these fly-by-nights, as you call them, have now reared their head in the aviation industry is nothing surprising to me. I've been saying this and pointing this out from 2021 when this administration took over, and this is my favorite. This was one of the terms that I used to use. Let's see who will be the new overnight millionaires.
Another matter that has attracted the attention of the Public Service Union is the unchecked concessions that are granted to foreign investors who wish to pursue multi-million-dollar business in Belize. PSU President Dean Flowers says it's time for the government to change the model being used to award concessions for the Belizean public to benefit more.
These blanket checks, nobody audits these investments. So if an investor comes and proposes to invest $200 million in Belize, immediately Cabinet roll out the red carpet and give 20 years tax concession, 25 years tax concession. And nobody audits what will be the cost of those concessions to the Belizean people. And so while they're investing $200 million in tax concession alone, over those period of time, these people might be walking away with billions of dollars. And what does the Belizean people get? Absolutely nothing. So we're saying that kind of model needs to be revisited. You need to start tasking your financial experts in the Ministry of Finance to start auditing how much money we're leaving on the table when we give these blanket concessions. And we're also saying perhaps it is time that we create a model whereby the investor is able to recover his money after making the investment. So the investor wins in that he recovers his money and we start winning immediately thereafter. So you don't want win-win. You cannot continue to win and we continue to lose. Look at Norwegian. Who is winning there? Who is really winning there? Look at the tourism sector. Who is really winning there? It is the investors who continue to enjoy these concessions.
Flowers says the concessions need to be quantified. He pointed to exemption of environmental tax for BSI. Orange Walk Town resident 43-year-old Stephen Vati Manzanilla was killed in a traffic accident just outside his house Saturday night. Reports are that Manzanilla was being picked up by his girlfriend on a motorcycle right after having a conversation with another couple when a vehicle crashed into the motorcycle from behind. The woman is hospitalized. The other couple said they had to scramble to safety. A resident in the Kings Park area of Belize City reported the killing of at least 6 dogs Saturday by a swarm of bees. The deaths were discovered along 6th Street. Steve Marlow says he was notified by 2 workers that his dogs had been attacked. The 2 workers were themselves attacked, but they managed to escape serious harm. Marlow reported that the bees originated at an abandoned house on a property owned by the Anglican Church further along the same street. Marlow explained that officials from the Ministry of Agriculture said they were unavailable to respond due to the National Agricultural and Trade Show, and said he was told he could hire a private exterminator whom he said would have charged close to $1,000, depending the extent of the work required. According to Marlow, the City Council then committed to send a private exterminator in the afternoon. The report is that other animals in the area were also attacked. That's the end of our news update. We'll take ourselves a small break. When we come back on the other side, we're going to open up for a conversation inside the WUB WUB Morning Vibes.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989, Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now,
in the heart of a thriving country, Atlantic Bank stands as more than just a financial institution. We are family and your steadfast partner in success throughout every step of your journey. Our unwavering focus remains on continually enhancing your experience through innovation. From the traditional banking services to cutting-edge online and mobile banking services, we make your life easy, convenient, and secure. We deeply value the relationships and trust placed in us over the years. This trust has enabled us to support and realize the dreams of our personal customers, be the driving force behind the development of micro, small, and medium businesses, and the preferred partner to our corporate clients. We are committed to serving our communities and making a positive impact. By prioritizing financial inclusion, we ensure that everyone has access to the financial tools and resources they need to thrive. We are your partner in progress, serving you with excellence and professionalism and providing real-life solutions. Today and for generations to come, let's continue building the future together.
Amandala is now online. You can now access Amandala's midweek and weekend issues online by logging on to our website at amandala.com.bz/news and joining our membership portal today. There's 5 easy steps to get unlimited access to weekly e-paper, archive publications, and a host of other exclusive contents. Number 1, go to Amandala's website. Number 2, navigate to subscribed areas. Number 3, choose a membership level. Number 4, check out using our secured portal. Number 5, log into the members only section. Telephone numbers 501-280-4703 or 202-4477. Fax us at 501-222-4702, or you could email at amandalapress@yahoo.com or amandalapress@gmail.com. Amandala, all power to the people.
Imagine getting rewards for your spending. Smart prepaid customers countrywide, it's time to level up with Smart Gains. Smart Gains are exclusive, limited time offers sent straight to your phone. We're talking irresistible rewards. You'll actually want extra credit, bonus data, and exclusive perks, all tailored to you. Because at Smart, we've always got your back. Don't miss out on rewards made just for you. Smart games, smart savings, smart you. Smart, bringing people together.
welcome back to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Mose Hyde in the house with you on this Monday morning, second day of June. Yes, June has started, which means, unfortunately, nothing against June, but June has one little significant thing against it. It's that once we come to June, we got the thing called the hurricane season. And so that's something we take note of. Last year, in fact, most of the trouble was early. Late, it was a lot less. So all norms we have to really focus on. We know that we are, before I get into all of that, this is not about me having a sermon. This is not about me giving a speech. This is about me opening up the process and the conversation for you to be able to join in. Our telephone number is 280-5848. I do have to announce that the hurricane season is officially open. I think June 1st is the date when it opens up. Again, last year, early going was bumpy. We had a real bad one hit the Eastern Caribbean and then eventually coming this way. So we are not afforded the same kind of, okay, later on, that when the trouble comes our way, you know, but right now, early and afterwards, so much in June, well, you gotta up your game, unfortunately. The weather is slowly becoming a factor. It has been dry. The rains, which normally would come around the time, you know, May, June, you know, the dry is extended. It was a more wet, dry season than usual, which has worked to our favor. We know that the forest fires they're just starting to pick up now. We can see the burnout going on. So because it's really now becoming dry. And as it becomes dry, we know that it's not just a matter of concern for agriculture. It's not just a concern for forest fires. Last year, we learned the hard way that lack of water means challenges when it comes to maintaining the energy supply. So those things start to become on watch. We have to start to watch those things. And so those who do the rain dance and know the songs to sing for the rain come, so around that time you start to do it, we need some water. We need some water, because even though nobody is saying it, the minute it gets dry, no, it's no longer about, well, the plants need water. Yes, we need the water for the plants and all of that good stuff. Ultimately, yes, priority. But energy becomes an issue. The hotter it stays and drier it stays. So we're up on watch now for some rainfall. Hopefully we'll get some of that soon. Again, let me just repeat the telephone number, that 280-5848. Call anytime and call where you want to talk about, because we know to stop you from talking about what you want to talk about. Once you do it, of course, with we'll call standards and decency, respect and manners, we good. It's, again, Monday morning, we also slam bam in the graduation season, and so we can see all the graduation ceremonies going on, and we want to just congratulate all the graduates at whatever level. Primary school is a little down the stretch, I believe, a couple more weeks before we get there, but now we're doing high schools. Tertiary level institutions are also cranking up their graduations, and we parents of graduates, of course, it's a very important time. It represents years of sacrifice and input, and of course to the students who have been able to perform adequately, some extraordinarily, and have earned themselves an important milestone. Congratulations to you, maximum respect. Continue on the road. There should be no stopping. We should never stop learning. We should never stop getting knowledge. We should never stop the process of acquiring skills to strengthen our tools box, to make sure that we are productive, competitive, and more so than ever, this generation and further generation of graduates, you're not only competing against human beings, you are the generation that will compete against machines. And I think is one of the most important consciousness you need to have. My generation and generations before you had to be developing a consciousness that we were not only competing with those around us in our little country, but we were competing with the world. The world wants to take your food, and in some instances, and unfortunately many instances, they have come here and they have taken our food. We were challenged to be globally competitive, to compete, and to be able to stand, but protect, be productive, and all that. Your generation now is not only expected to compete with the planet, with everybody. Your generation will have to compete with machines, and every day as we speak, these machines are advancing, becoming more skilled, and in fact, just last week, there was a whistleblower who actually owns one of the companies that is developing the AI machine learning, machine technology, says we're looking at maybe a reduction of about 30% of the labor force in a very short period of time. That's what they're saying. So what I say is, it's not about doom and gloom. It's about saying you got your degree and it's great, and be proud, but developing self to make self be able to survive and be productive doesn't stop there. In fact, it's just the beginning. You're in a race, young brother, young sister. You are in a race against some very significant challenges and very significant headwinds, and as the adults we have our part to play as well. But we all have to exist now. We who still walk the earth with our children have to give them that encouragement, because it's a very inclement reality. It's a very challenging one, a very hostile environment. The machine technology, machine intelligence is going to be extremely problematic if you are not anticipating, and if you are not adapting. It's going to be very difficult. This is WB Wake Up Believe's Morning Vibes. Just a congratulatory note to all the graduates. Respect is due. All of you. This morning, of course, I want to speak on a matter that emerged last week, where we found out that, we gone a whole playbook, where we find out that big concessions have been given to this company out in Key Chapel, and we are told that they are building a Four Seasons resort. Yeah, this is what we say. This is the model that we have been told for decades is how we become a developed country. When we were young, I'm 54 years old. You're young, you're naive, you're stupid, and you're easy for somebody tell you something, and you're that, and the things you could have made convinced me of when I'm 18. I look back and I say, goodness gracious, I'm a gullible and simple. At 54, you could still, as a human being, we're always vulnerable to get set up. But one thing I try hope and really dig in and say, but then games you could have dropped on me when I'm 18 and when I'm 20, then it don't work again. Yes, so new games could work, and a human being, you could get set up, but it better be some new setup. It better be one 2025 AI kind of setup. It can't be the same old setup. When we're young, simple, you could say, well, this is how we are make it to get excited. Whoa, Four Seasons Resort. Wow, we have arrived. Anytime you hear about big mega project, mega investor coming in, and listen, foreign direct investment, we have to make sure we roll out the red carpet and give them get everything in the cupboard, get everything in the refrigerator, because they want to lift we up, they make we better. That maybe in the 80s, lesser degree in the 90s, but for damn sure, in 2025, enough has happened to us to make we know, wait, hold up, that's not exactly how that work out. We've not had that experience. And so when we hear on manners and tax breaks and tax exemptions and all the different red carpet treatment that we give when you hear what big investor they come, we still, in 2025, they try to tell me that we supposed to be so turned on by just, here comes another saving project, here comes another liftoff for us. That has not been our lived experience. So I absolutely agree with the President of the Public Service Union when he says you have to present the maths on this. You have to present the maths on this. Just over the weekend, I saw a video, I believe it was posted by one of the diaspora and Facebook pages for Belize. And it had one of the bloggers, we have these bloggers come to Belize, they travel and they do blogs and, they go on social media and they put this out and they show this blogger and he said the 5 things that are absolutely stunning about Belize that everybody should come here for. And he started out. First thing he said, number one reason, the best part of coming to Belize is the people. He said the best part of coming to Belize are the people. And then he mentioned the food. He said, never had a bad meal in Belize. He said, funny, make sure you get fried jack, make sure you get rice and bean stew chicken. He don't know when they put pan stew chicken, but listen, deal with it. The next thing is, pan the top 5, when you get under the water, you see beautiful, you see amazing, you see out of this world. Listen, nothing wrong with some mega resort, nothing wrong with that. But at what cost? You have to present the maths. Because you can't continually convince we that tax concessions to these foreign investment have actually ever done what you have argued that they would do. It has, of course, a tremendous benefit to the people who own these operations. Been good for them. It's been good for a small cadre of people who are connected, who get one link and able to be a part of that. But that's not good enough. This is the same old blueprint that we have had some very miserable times offer. But I have a call, so I will interrupt what I was talking about. Krem, good morning, WB.
Morning, Mose.
Good morning, sir.
I apologize to interrupt, but you know who I'm about.
There's no need to apologize. Forward. Talk to me. Where are you going?
What happened?
Zero need to apologize. Just talk. I know they have to preach.
All right. Mose, you know we live in a beautiful country, right?
Yes, sir.
We all know this.
Yes, sir.
And people all over the world know that we have treasure here.
Yes, sir.
We got peace here. We got love here.
Yes, sir.
We got good people here. The only we, the general foundation people and the real people, and we born and grow here, like, for some reason, like, we don't see the quality and the value of this beautiful country. Mm. That's the reason why me take America out of my mind more. Because America there. But one of the biggest questions where you talk just now, and I want to ask you is that how everybody all over the world could come and benefit and find treasure here, and we will live here. You know, like we can't see, like we don't appreciate it, like we don't be interested. You know? That's the way I don't want to put out to you, for just continue on the conversation right there.
Yeah, so
it's like.
No, I think you have people where I think a lot of people conscious of some of the beauty. I mean, you know, we people come on Easter when we run every place where we could go outside and see. There's a reason for that. We know that there is beauty and enjoyment. Just physically, there is a greater understanding amongst the more Belizeans than say 50 years ago about how beautiful it is under the water. I think some of the things one of the things we take for granted is how beautiful we are as a people. We not appreciate ourselves the way and love ourselves the way we should. But when it comes to the physical beauty of our country, I don't agree that people don't know that, and people have to come. People who come from different countries have that appreciation, and we don't. I don't agree with that.
But what I try to figure out is that even the foreigners, you know, the bloggers say, Belize on a place apart, you could go and get a lot of stuff in 10 US. Because when they do, remember every traveler travel for a budget, right?
Yeah.
So this individual I watch me, they talk about one budget.
So you don't want
to believe with
so you
and enjoy yourself.
So you don't want. Okay, in my bedroom, I'm aware that you're watching a lot of YouTube videos. Like you're not a YouTube guy, right? You watch YouTube more than you watch TV. Isn't that so?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And so anybody that watches YouTube knows that you will find interesting about YouTube. There was this guy who do one blog this weekend, and he made it say about he made it burn out the big real estate companies that Belize said that then are set up and then are hustlers and then are scammers. They're the kind of things you'll find on YouTube, right? People no longer have to wait for nothing to come and tell you what an experience. It's raw, right? Sometimes you can get some bloggers where that's some idiot and jerk, but one lot of the bloggers, like you have bloggers that come on and tell you the best part of living in Belize, and then tell you some of the worst things about living in a Belize. One of the things when they want to tell you about when they don't like about Belize, that the kind of things where they on the grocery shelf, on the supermarket shelf, like lot of them say that. Lot of them complain about sandflies. And some of them complain about humidity. The point of saying that is to say, listen, it is not just one kind of thing is being said, but there is an overall view when I can't deny. Belize is an amazingly beautiful place, and when it comes to the majority position, we is that we as a people when we meet we the vibes. We the vibes. Like for we, this is the consensus. Yes, you got a couple of jerks when I say, oh, da. But overall, if you watch enough of these videos, you'll find one of the most consistent comments when they make is that we the vibe, we the people, me, you, brothers and sisters all around when they listen and watch the show, or even those when they watch the show. And the point of bringing this up, Brick, is that, boss, Key Chapel is $1 trillion piece of God's earth without one single piece of lumber, brick, or nail land on it. Key Chapel is an amazing piece of Jaja earth where if no human being ever gone in and touched a single grain of sand on it, it would still be amazing and extraordinary. You could find people who would come from all over the earth to just say, can I put one piece of blanket down on this ground, on this grass, on this sand, no water, nothing, no there, no AC, no Wi-Fi. Can I just put my blanket down here and just chill here for a night? You could find people who do that. The point I'm making is that when they come and they tell us about somebody deserving, they have earned being, get all kind of tax exemption. I could tell you this. This every administration come and sing this same song. We have to, this is how we are live for self. We need them big people here come for invest their money. When they invest their money, they create jobs and then da 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 da. But boss, if we make we get there, we start off by having such one low value for what we have. There is a problem because when you do the maths, we have to do the maths. Convince me with the maths, because the maths say that the small and medium-sized businesses employ the most people in the country. But small and medium businesses can, the hardest thing for we could get that any kind of break concession for anything. But if somebody walk off from a plane and come with some bunch of paper and say I want bill and police, immediately we don't want no GST, we don't want no stamp duty, we don't want no tax for 25 years, we all the perks and benefits, and we not say we part. We do this over and over and over. We part ever the promise becomes our reality. It has never become our lived experience, yet on a daily basis, small enterprise, small business, everyday hustling people, everyday entrepreneurs, they're not the people who are really to build spaces for Belizeans could live and get one living income off of. Like, yet never ever we consider how we could structure things in our way to incentivize them, for getting the breaks were required. But we in a media business, and not to bring it about us, but this is my experience. We not been in a business, I've been here since 1989, never ever able to get developmental concession. Never ever able to forget. So you think I supposed to get up one morning and feel all goddamn happy and glorious that somebody come and want him a bill and Four Seasons. The Four Seasons resort could kiss my backside. At the end of the day, pay your goddamn taxes just like we have to pay for we want, just like how we have to struggle for pay for we want. So we make they have some higher priority. You can't, unless you give me the maths, because we have had over 4 decades of this, over 4 decades of preaching the same colonializing experience with power. We want to tell ourselves that unless some mega developer come from somewhere, we can't live. Boss, we don't need nobody to tell we how to live Key Chapel. Key Chapel done ban goddamn amazing.
Yeah.
So if they say, well, if you don't give we all these breaks we gone, well then my God, make we build it ourselves. Make the big people in the country raise their money, Social Security or whoever go and say we want to build Key Chapel, we want to take over Key Chapel. Make we build it with God Himself. This real. In my view, that we are so colonized in the mind, we part just economically. This is the model where we believe in. You can't come sing that same song to me. You can't come tell me that anybody, because in a bill on Four Seasons resort, we have to Guinea every single break under the books. You can't bring that to me, and I'm passionate about it. You want to tell me that the maths say that this that we live for we country? You must be mad.
Yeah, I agree, Chuck. Mose, I want to help me out here because you know what our Creole youth, right? I know some of these big words in a proper English sometimes it confuses me, and I don't want to think the wrong meaning, you know. I see a commercial. They talk about people who do a long time, and if you want to raise a record and it's an opportunity to, do it. But with the commercial, what confused me, and I say how the ordinary people want to understand this, is that Mose is like, it just come direct. You have to go online to do it, you know. I make a block it down to what I mean, if you don't understand me, what I try to say. I mean, for the people we do a long time like myself, or when I want to clear up your record, you know, because that your life number, a new person, you don't want to nothing at station there, another name. You're forward, you're pure. And I give you answer that you have to go online Mose, go do that, and I think you still have to spend on smaller, and if you approve.
Okay,
That's most of what I could understand. I watch a commercial every time to try to get one wider understanding. I say, well, you know what?
So
I want to meet most of our accent.
Who they present that? Who they present?
I say, well, I usually see it between for the news, like Channel 7 or commercial.
But who?
Who that is? Who was for the commercial?
Yeah, who they say come make with sponge record?
That's why they can't try to get one understanding from the
I don't see the commercial, brother, so I can't.
All right, I'll have to
really
show the commercial because I try to understand it. The thing is, most is that we the people, we don't talk direct. You know, we like talking a proper English and the original Creole, have a difficulty understand proper English, and that's the way I like with some of the ministers, and we could have a conversation in the house meeting, and they want to talk at a higher level, and they could break it down to the everyday people, everyday Belizean. Because you know, we are direct people, we talk shit. We are humble people, and remember, in our slavery days, we are the most humble slave, and that's why we don't really end up with a lot of, Remember that we didn't chance. And today, the slavery is still going where they go in the minds of some of the brilliant people, And I know you know this. Yeah. So go back to what we said just now, is that we live in our country most apart by the end of the day.
So for make, let's clear this up. When we say this no work, this model no work.
Yeah.
This is not for suggest that there is no possibility of valuable strategic relationships.
Okay.
So, but it has to, we can't just present the argument that, well, that one foreign investor and they want to put up something big, so we don't have to convince you anymore. No, you have to convince with the maths, with the numbers. So if one of the world leading countries, the leading country, I feel, in the manufacturing of chips for technology is Taiwan. And we have no experience in that kind of thing here. And so suppose one of these companies from Taiwan says we would like to come and set up something like that in Belize. We have no experience. That would be, obviously you can come and make an argument to me like, listen, we don't have none of that, we don't got this capacity, and we want benefit from having this technology here, or we want to learn about it, and be quality paying jobs, and I don't know, an idiot, I don't know, so an ignoramus for ignoramus sake. You could make one argument.
Yeah.
But when you talk about tourism, people may want Koya. The reason why tourism industry blew up the Belize was because people discovered things that were here before any investor started to put anything. Placentia had its beach before any investor spent on copper. Hopkins may beautiful from before we ban. The reef was amazing.
Yeah.
None of we alive, no foreign investor never built the Mayan temples. They never somebody flying from a plane and build the Mayan temples and left it for way.
Yeah.
So what we have here, we inherited, we've been blessed with an amazing package. We have to have that consciousness when we negotiate with anybody. Boss, one big, mega, fancy, linked up hotel can be strategic, but do not demand that the terms of you coming here means that I want to deprive my people of the tax where you have to pay.
But most of our own people that do that against we, Mose.
Well, that is the point, brother.
Our own people.
That's the
All
point.
right. Our own people.
How you are? Every time they make this argument, man. Every time they make this. Well, wait. I think you know the president of the Public Service Union, Baradini, is so right. When they put Norwegian Cruise Line, I say, oh, Norwegian Cruise Line, they will be amazing when they bring their own, when they own their own island, when they could land pan. What that one means is that the tourism going through the roof in the south. So all the time they make these arguments, but all of the ask them, show me the maths, because I am very confident.
Yeah.
Put foreign investment maths against the maths of the collective impact of the everyday business entrepreneur, everyday operator, hustler, business person. Show me the net impact when it comes to taxes, when they pay. Show me the net impact on the amount of people who get employed, and I will tell you, I am so confident. Belizean own small, micro, medium businesses will blow away the impact where these so-called mega country saving projects have done for this country. When they come, they don't stop want, you know.
Yeah.
When they come, they don't stop want. They come, they want to know, you can't charge me no taxes. That's the first thing if I want to come. Because they feel, you know why? They feel like that brand. Yeah. And they have a right to feel so. They feel like, oh, Four Seasons, oh, you're just, that's a world-known brand. We are traded on the Wall Street and we are recognized around the world. That is so true. Four Seasons can't touch Belize. No matter where you put all the resorts where Four Seasons own across the planet with all the fancy room and all the swimming pool and all the nice room and all the AC and all of the restaurant, put it all together. Put it together, and I tell you, you know what, a goddamn near. Well, when you put Belize together, that is the whole we think. We can't get blown away. Come man can tell you, say, oh, you that Four Seasons, but we that Belize, Papa.
Exactly.
You know what for we brand? For we still alive. You know what for we brand? For we people come out of the room full of vibes and charisma and energy and personality and culture. You mad?
How they not try to buy that yet? Cause you know they want to buy everything. How they go and buy the beef yet?
Buy brick. Give thanks. Give thanks. It's 7:29. The thing they will set me up when I'm young and simple, you can't do that to me now. You have to go and brand new setup on a brand new power, so a brand new hype. I know they tell you that I am now immune. Forget setup. But when I think about some of the simpleness where I gone for when I'm in America, you can't put that to me now. So why we as a country still in the same old setup when they come put Panway in the 80s, when we just bust out, when we just quote unquote take over the country, and they tell we, oh, how fantastic it is when you're able for a track, you know, these big fancy things. But as we have been blessed with one of the most fancy things you could have, beautiful slice of planet Earth, and whether the impact where they have on the quality of life for the 425,000 away? How is it lifting us whenever we decide, oh, we and give away the cupboard and the refrigerator, you know, pay no kind of tax for the next 25 years, for the next 30 years? You want to tell me that the model I believe in? You better bring the maths. Because I don't see the proof of that. Give me the maths. Right now, we're going to 2 cents scam, sponsored by 4 Point Security. We'll be back.
All right, guys, you're watching 2 Cent Cam on WB, right? I'm your host, Brick City. And the 2 cents of the day, the 2 cents question of the day. Do Belizeans do agriculture in the city, in the yard? Do they make use of the yard? We want to find out people 2 cents on that. But guess what, right? I find one. So I want to talk to the person that hear it 2 cents. All right, so morning, sir. So make I hear your 2 cents, all right, for people we do agriculture in the yard, like your one. Tell me how you come about doing it. Make I hear your 2 cents, Panny.
Well, how I become about doing this agriculture, you know, Mr. Mac's yard, you know, and he made on gun fall and thing, and I, you know, job when I start assistant, help and take care of chickens and duck and he benefit me, benefit him, and so we come along, you know, doing this cleaning up every morning, because then we have to keep the place clean, keep it.
So you do this every day?
I do this every morning.
And you believe other people could do it?
Yes, you can have me in your own backyard. You don't have to go to a farm for raise chicken and raise duck.
Right.
Once you have your yard fence, everything going, you could do it, you know. And that's something where it's easy. You just have to put your mind to it, and it could happen, you know.
So what advice you look for some Belizean and encourage
Well, where would I go for telling them just have to make one try to it, man, and if they see it don't work out well, you could try something else. If you can't make it with the chicken, you try to make it with the vegetables, plants or whatever, because people buy plants too, you know, and even dog, you could get dog too, and raise a dog there, you know.
So, and that's your 2 cents.
And that's my 2 cents, because then if we could do it, somebody else must go do it too. You understand? If you own one shop, I could own one shop too. If you could do it, I could do it too. You understand? That just, you have to put in the effort to make it happen. And if you don't put in an effort to make it happen, it won't happen.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
That's why you're 2 cents. If you ever do any type of farming in your yard.
Yes.
What you grow in your yard?
We grow zucchini and pumpkin. Oh, guava too.
That you're 2 cents?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, I always try grow things in my yard, because right now, after the corona time, that's when I really start to think and I need to get in on this growing thing. And I try a couple of times when corona gone, grow some couple of things, and I started some habanero pepper. Boy, my habanero pepper, they grow so nice in my yard. But before the pepper even come on the tree, people don't look for come reap your thing before the thing they even grow. The thing's about 1, 2, 3 pepper, and another day when I come out back, I can't see the pepper there on the tree. Look like the neighbor there, people wrong when they walk wrong, they come in at your place and then just reap your product. I tell you, it's hard for grow to believe in the city, but I think you need to go out in the areas. That's my 2 cents.
Yes, I do farming in my yard. But the reason why it can't happen, because I live on too much water. The plants are dead as the rain comes down.
And that's your 2 cents?
That's my 2 cents. We need to pull the yard to grow the poor people in.
All right, your 2 cents of the day, right, is that, have you ever done any kind of farming in your yard, in the city?
Mama, I bring a vine of passion fruit. And I gave my mama because my mama like gardening. And that vine grew in the yard. My pa set up so stuff because our vine grew. And then it did harvest. We did harvest passion fruit. And one of the things I grow the most are plantain. I think we've harvested plantain like 5 times already. One called down, the next one on the grow.
Right in the city.
Right in the city.
And now you're 2 cents.
Yep. And we also done sweet pepper. Because you got like leaf boxes, like leaf gardening boxes. And because we do pepper, we have also been trying to grow our own habanero. And it has come out. And we just need to, get more techniques and learn about it, see how it grows and what kind of things are good. So all our scraps, they not really go to waste. I have to make sure you have to compost and all of that thing there.
And now you're 2 cents.
Yes.
Tired of replacing light bulbs? LEDs are what you need. LEDs last up to 30,000 hours. That's 30 times longer than incandescent bulbs, and up to 8 times longer than compact fluorescents. So less changing and less trash. Planet Earth thanks you. And the LED experts at Brothers Habet and Habet will help you find the best LED solution with colors for every room and mood, starting as low as $6.95. You can even get LED strips for home, office, and industrial use. So say goodbye to fluorescent tubes forever. And because they use up to 90% less energy, you save money. Money you can spend on other things. So head to Brothers Habet or Habet and Habet today. You can also call, email, or Facebook us. Have a brilliant day.
Babe, I'm going out to pay the water bill.
You don't need to go out. You could pay it from your phone. Look.
Babe, the credit card bill. I'll go pay it.
You can also pay it with your phone.
Babe,
Yes, love?
I need to go deposit the baby Series pay.
You really want to go out, don't you? It's okay. I will make the transfer and you go play ball.
With Atlantic Bank Mobile, your personal banking experience is easier and more convenient. Bank your way with any of our digital channels and save time for what matters most.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Imagine getting rewards for your spending. Smart prepaid customers countrywide, it's time to level up with Smart Gains. Smart Gains are exclusive, limited time offers sent straight to your phone. We're talking irresistible rewards. You'll actually want extra credit, bonus data, and exclusive perks, all tailored to you. Because at Smart, we've always got your back. Don't miss out on rewards made just for you. Smart Gains, Smart Savings, Smart You. Smart, bringing people together.
Tired of appliances that just don't last? Appliances that just can't keep up? It's time for a change. GE Appliances delivers reliability, innovation, and performance you can trust. The decision is easy. Don't settle for less. Choose quality, choose reliability, choose GE. Paid for by homeowners who demand better appliances.
WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. It is Monday morning, the 2nd of June, 2025, and we now have heavy traffic in the house. It's not some slight traffic. We got heavy traffic. Yeah, some big trucks have rolled through. Well, should I say some big boats, because we have the BFF with us, the Federation of Fishers. This morning, President Nigel Martinez, Advisor George Myvitt, and Fisher Folk, Dale Fairweather, and Hopeton Westby all here this morning. Did I get your names right?
Yes.
Great. In the house with us on this Monday morning, and usually once the BFF come to the house, it is usually it's not a courtesy visit. Usually because there's trouble. So, Brother Nigel, tell me, morning, welcome to the show. What's going on?
Top of the morning, Mose. Good morning, Belize. And as you rightfully mentioned, when the BFF come on the show, that because there's code red in the blue, we are reiterating code red in the blue. You know, Mose, last year, the ministry have been doing what they dub as public consultation as it relates to the expansion of 3 marine protected areas, namely Bacalar Chico, Lighthouse Reef, and Glover's Reef Marine Reserve. And we had a major pushback because we felt that when you're doing public consultation, you want to target those stakeholders who their livelihood and well-being depend on the area. So we had a pushback because we felt that the public consultation that they were doing was not meaningful, it was not successful, it was not targeting those who are going to be impacted significantly. So take, for example, if you have the Turnef Atoll Marine Reserve, whereby 2 of our members fished. Currently, depending on who you ask, Turnef have about over 1,500 licensed commercial fishers. So if and that's just commercial fishers you're talking about, you're not talking about the other stakeholders that occupied and used the marine protected area. So when you're talking about a public consultation for those stakeholders, that's a significant threshold that you need to meet. And if you're not meeting that threshold, then in our view, you're not having a public consultation. What happened was, last year they did all these public consultation and they kind of squeeze in an SI that reference the lobsters. SI 126 of 2024 in late October. And it caught our radar. Why did it caught our radar? It caught our radar because now the government is saying, the ministry is saying, that they are now giving special license for the harvesting of lobster less than 3 inches and lobster with buried or with eggs. And these lobsters can be harvested for 2 purposes, for mariculture and for aquaculture. But what is so alarming is because they're putting the hearts before the courage. Right now, the government is in process of documenting mariculture regulations, and they're also doing a 10-year aquaculture plan. So how is it that they are now changing the regulation for lobster and allowing, at the minister's discretion, the opportunity for investors to come in and seek these special licenses to extract this delicate marine species from our waters that we have been seeing going downhill significantly. And the guys are here to tell you what that process looks like, what they are feeling out there on the ground.
Before we get the brothers in, I'm curious. they got in this SI without the BFF being conscious, and how did you find out about it if you were not conscious of it? Because it's dated in sometime in 2024.
Yes, it's dated in October of 2024. Normally, this is the standard norm of the ministry. They draft these SI without any public consultation, without anyone know. As I am understanding, that there are even people within the Fisheries Department that are unaware of this SI. We got wind of it through one of our partners, the Turner Fatal Trust, who have subscribed to receiving these gazettes regularly. So that was how it was made mention to the Federation. And immediately when we got wind of it last week, we were in the process of doing a workshop with all our members from Corozal to Barranco. And during that process, we were able to bring this matter to the forefront. And not alarming, but none of our members were aware that such SI exists.
It's SI 126 of 2024.
That is correct.
All right. Brother Fairweather, what are your thoughts when you found out about this SI?
Basically, my thoughts when I found out, and I hear aquaculture and mariculture. We local fishermen are not rich. We don't have any money. We can't get into aquaculture and mariculture. So, I mean, that's for the rich elite. Because the mariculture process takes millions and millions of dollars.
Which is like shrimp farming would be considered mariculture.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I say basically they are taking from us the poor fishermen, I believe, which we are suffering right now because the lobster stock are depleted.
So this SI essentially for people where they listen, so that somebody will go a company and they want to start up, they go in and they go get the baby lobster and then get a pregnant lobster there.
Yes.
That right? All right. Yeah. Okay. So to make people understand where you come down to, what are they?
Yeah.
Why you would have a... But let me ask this. Talking about the consultation about this particular SI, but when it comes to the proposed mariculture, aquaculture movement, has there been engagement any at all with the BFF on, because those things have been discussed, so I wondered if they have been engaged, any engagement at all with the BFF?
Well, they just sent a correspondent to us stating that they're having this aquaculture plan that they're developing for 10 years, and they're having this mariculture regulations that they're in the process of developing. But we are saying that you're putting the horse before the carrot. You're passing all these laws, these SIs, and then you don't have any policy documents in place. It's the same pushback that we had when they did the so-called public consultation in reference to the expansion of these marine protected areas. We're asking the Ministry and the Fisheries Department in particular, how is it that you want us to accept all these expansion without any documentation as to how these expansion are going to be governed? It just doesn't make sense. You're doing all these expansion and you have no policy document, no business plan in place. It's just business as normal as we can see it.
Brother Westby, your thoughts on it?
Well, they tried this already several years ago. By out in Turnip where I was, they gave a guy the permission to harvest small lobster, raise small lobster off the season, everything, and they didn't make it. A Chinese, I think, was the guy that was doing it out by Turnip where I was. It wasn't feasible and it wasn't legal and sensible enough for, why couldn't they come to us, the fishers, and give us a bucketive to help us try that? Because we know the lobster, we know the area, we know how everything already goes, how they reproduce, and why don't they come to us, the fishers, and let us try it? Give us a helping hand to let us try it. Not anyone out the country come and just take over what we already do. You understand?
George Madvid here with us. George, as a scientist, Give us a sense, your thoughts on mariculture, aquaculture in Belize. It's the pros and cons of it, and then kind of weigh in on the way it appears the government wants to enable this.
Yes, pleasant good morning, everybody. Thanks, Mose. Two things. I'll just go back to a point made by Nigel, and that is there are two independent events happening. One of them is that the Ministry of the Blue Economy essentially passed a slew of SIs last year in relation to protected areas management and in relation to this particular SI 126 of 2024, which essentially says that one can legally capture lobsters that are just sublegal, anything from egg all the way up to 2.999 inches. The legal size for lobster is 3 inches, which is the carapace, like really the head and thorax. What you're doing there is that you are allowing people who might go into mariculture, lobster mariculture in this instance, to essentially be cropping off lobsters just before they are recruited into the fishery. And so that is really in stark competition with the fishers. Mariculture, aquaculture is not necessarily a bad thing. Actually, fishing and fisheries is really one of the last domain of the hunter-gatherer. All of those snappers and groupers that you see being sold on the barracks, no fisherman has put one snapper or one grouper in there. What nature has done, nature has basically raised these animals from egg through the early life stages, through juveniles up to where they can be harvested. And so having a regulation that basically says that one can crop and harvest lobsters legally under the law that is just below the legal limit is essentially like me running a race against Usain Bolt. I am doing the 100 meter against Usain Bolt, but I will be at the 90 meter mark, and Hussein will be at the 1 meter mark. And you know how that going? Mose, I don't know a runner, but Hussein will not be able to catch me.
One would,
yeah, that would have to be a major assumption. And so there's a kind of moral assuasion there that basically said, let us level the playing field. 1, 2, I would say that normally, I think that the hope for fisheries in general, wild fisheries, eventually will be that you'll have to husband and you have to raise these things. But what you don't want to do, you don't want to injure the livelihood of fishers. And so there's nothing wrong with essentially saying that you want to harvest, you want to raise lobsters. But what you want to do is to ensure that that license does not disadvantage your fishers, and that it starts at the early life stages of the lobster where the heavy mortality is. The reason, Mose and audience and gentlemen, that you don't have lobster mariculture in Belize is there's a technical aspect of it, there's a financial aspect of it, and obviously the environmental aspect of it. The technical aspect of it is that you would raise an animal where the technology is known, the biology is known, and where one can make a good return on investment. What we have been champion of in Belize has been shrimp mariculture. The reason that we have been successful in shrimp mariculture is that the life cycle of the shrimp is essentially 6 months. So you can get a shrimp from eggs to what we refer to as the post-larvae, which is the young ones, essentially in 30 days. For the lobster, it takes 9 months just to get through the first early life stage. And for you to get to the purulai, you're looking at a year. So for you to reach a 4-ounce lobster tail, you're looking at anywhere between 2 and 3 years to reach to reach a legal size lobster. So technically, there are challenges there because, as I said, the early life stage of the lobster for those people who might be taking notes, is that the egg essentially hatches into what we refer to as a phylloxome larvae. And that phylloxome larvae is in the water column. We say it's in the plankton. And essentially, it's there for about 9 months. And that phylloxome larvae actually has about 17 stages. And if you're husbanding that animal, you have to essentially find what is it that animal feeds on at each of those 17 stages, and you need to provide that feed. That is not an easy thing to do. The second thing is that once the lobster has gone through the phylloxome stage and it settles onto the bottom, we refer to it as a purulus. That is essentially where some of the effort in lobster farming is concentrated. And when we say lobster, I need to say that it is a spiny lobster.
Mhm.
In terms of the spiny lobster, there's about 32 species of spiny lobsters globally. But the spiny lobster, as we know, is not the one with the heavy claw. Let me cut to the one with the heavy claw, which is the Homerus. Homerus americanus is actually a European equivalent. The difference between the spiny lobster and the American lobster is the American lobster has a large egg and a very short life cycle. And so there is a fair amount of advances have been made in Europe, in Britain, for example, with the European Homerus lobster. Nobody, as far as I know, is actually doing the spiny lobster. Years ago, Northern Fishermen Cooperative, if my memory serves me right, had a project in Kikaka in which they were collecting the juveniles. They were collecting essentially the post larvae, and they were raising them up. I spoke to one of the gentlemen there, and I believe he said that they raised them up to about a year, I think a year and a half, successfully. But the project was not continued for whatever reason. Long story short, I believe that research and development needs to happen with this spiny lobster before you can get to the commercial phase of it. And I would say that it is very adventuresome to essentially allow anybody in law to basically harvest and raise that lobster when it is almost legal size. I believe that it needs to be reconsidered. One, two, going back to the Fisheries Act, Brother Mose, the Fisheries Act itself essentially says in the preamble, the policy side of it, that the Fisheries Resources Act, number 210 of the Laws of Beliefs 2020, essentially says that in law, that the department shall be guided by transparency and accountability and consultation of stakeholders. And as far as we know, that has not happened, and it has been very troubling for the BFF, not only in relation to this regulation, but in relation to a slew of regulations relating to the Belize Blue Bond, which is a whole other topic.
Yes.
All right?
All right, that's impressive thoroughness, Brother George, and very informing. Making our listeners and viewers have a better understanding of this thing we love it, coming up in about 6 or 8 weeks or so going on bad. But outside of the biology and the science of it, there is the disrespect. I imagine that, which is consistent for the BFF. If an SI was going to be passed that dealt with a significant change as it relates to poultry in Belize, no such amendment or adjustment or change would happen without deep conversations with the Poultry Association. Then people play with them because they are operating at a level economic size. Change how nothing as it relates to how poultry is produced in Belize with some Mennonites around the table okaying it. And that is natural, that's common sense.
Yeah.
This is how we survive.
Correct.
So any rule change, the essence of the consultation have to be, we are okay. We understand what they do, we understand what your plan, and we feel like we are part of the plan, but more importantly, for we bottom line, you know, the play with. So for me as somebody where they on the sidelines, hearing you present, when I read it, I was like, man, listen, under no circumstances, the BFF forget surprised by something like this. Or you only find out about it through a secondary medium. That's incredible. And I'm saying this not because I try to tell you no to get disrespected. The reason you there because no to get disrespected.
Correct.
But that will make the person who listen and watch understand whether the essence of the disrespect or why, like, you know, easy for say the BFF, the only just angry. It's like the same thing where they may do with FECTAB.
Yeah.
Characterizing it as just angry people.
Troublemakers.
Just angry for angry sake.
Yeah.
But the reality is that the only thing where they could do. If somebody constantly to get you angry because of disrespect, how you want ever present yourself other than that? Because that's the way that what is consistent. So it's important for me listeners to understand. Yes, when Brother Nigel and Brother George come, yes, they're always trouble. They're not because by own nature this is all you want to do. When they fisher folk one day, they start get ready for the lobster season when they come. Uno want they pound them they do other work. Uno no want just they always have for the outside fire disrespect, but that is what you are forced to do. I'll make you respond to that, Nigel, and then we're going to take a break.
Yeah, and that is rightfully so, Mose. We have produced two documents, one a Code of Conduct for Responsible Fishing and the other a Call for Action. We had produced these documents last year, 2024, and it has warranted the support of all the leaders of the fishing association / groups across this country. We have sent this document over to the ministry, hoping to get a positive response so that we can meet with them at the table and have a discussion over the document moving forward. They deny us that opportunity. We have, since I cannot say how long, been advocating for us to have a seat at the decision-making table, which is the Fisheries Advisory Council. Again, they refuse to bring us on. So it just brings us to the conclusion that they don't want to be held accountable. They want a yes sir, yes ma'am type of person sitting at that table. And this way they'll be able to get away and do whatever they feel that they want to do. Because when you look at what transpired here with this lobster regulation, it's not only a total disrespect, but it's an infringe on these guys' livelihood. When you look at the mechanism that was used for this, again, it shows total disrespect. These guys are saying that we already saw the science. Up to this date, they have not produced their stock assessment to tell us exactly what it is or how it is the industry is looking moving forward. What we have seen, it's on a downtrend, continue to be on a downtrend. So they have no conscious knowledge how they are affecting their livelihood and well-being of our fisher folks. So we are going to continue to address this matter from our standpoint through our advocacy position. We're going to continue to join forces with those who want to be partner with us. because there are several NGOs, Mose, and viewers that are a part of the system. What do I mean? They are a part of the come along, get along crew. They would see things happening, but instead of standing up and taking policy on some of these issues, they turn a blind eye and they just accept the system for what it is. And the BFF is not in a position to do so.
But we go to break, we come back.
Earn B-Bucks and get a chance to win a $10,000 homecation with Benny's. Quality and savings.
Hey, Belizean students! Ready to unlock your future? The Social Security Board is now accepting applications for its 2025 scholarship program. Whether you're aiming for vocational technical, high school, or an associate degree, this is your chance. To qualify, you must be a born Belizean accepted to a school in Belize, entering high school, trade school, or college for the first time, demonstrate financial need and academic potential. Don't wait! Learn more and apply online today at socialsecurity.org.bz. Deadline is Friday, June 27, 2025. Remember, only online applications are accepted. Unlock new opportunities for success with a scholarship from Social Security.
Whether you are a busy person or stuck in traffic or having an adverse or very demanding circumstance, tension builds up, causing you to be stressed out. Stress attacks everyone, anytime, any age. And stress is a killer. Palm City? It's best to be alive than dead. So visit Freetown Drugstore to get options to relieve stress and to relax your mind.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you today?
I'm so stressed out.
Okay, I'm saying I help you out right now. When I this daily, for 10 days, I am good after that, okay?
Okay.
Freetown Drugstore, 28 Freetown Road, where you are better off alive than dead. Freetown Drugstore, telephone 223-2876.
All right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Mose Hyde in the house here. We have the BFF here with us this morning, and we have a call. Krem, good morning, WB.
Hey, morning, Mose.
Yes.
I'm calling to share some breaking news.
Yes, sir.
Right here from inside Punta Gorda Town, Toledo District, Mose.
Yeah.
Yesterday was to be the AGM for the Toledo Teachers Credit Union, Mose. And to my disappointment, or to our disappointment, it had to be postponed because of lack of quorum, Mose. And when you listen to people from the street, Mose, they are saying that it was because of misappropriation of funds, Mose. And I know I call some names that you mentioned, because even the people in from Bay Vista will have a strong membership. Didn't read, sir, is sending a serious message to us here in PG about the leadership we put in place. Another thing was, lands were given. We had two venues where lands were given. One at the Toledo auditorium, sports auditorium, and the other at the Cat Landing Community Center. Mose, it's nice to give out land. This is a part of our patrimony, and we deserve it. But how you are give out land, Mose? How you are give out papers, and the people don't know where they're landing? I remember years ago when lands were given out here in PG, sir. The lands after Kerry was showing land. Road was already in place, Mose. We have places where we have lands where they give out recently, Mose. Light, water. Now we happen to win a PG, Mose. We take anything, Mose. So I'm just because, and there are two things here. The recent, the current, and it happened.
Okay.
Right, so Mose, thank you.
All right, buddy.
For Prem FM, respect.
All right. We're here with the BFF, and the primary purpose of the visit this morning, which unfortunately very often is never just a courtesy call on us, just to give us an update on how things are going. It's hardly ever to tell us something that has happened that is going positively. When the BFF reaches out is because there is a problem, as Brother Nigel says, there's code red. And it would seem to me that that's a permanent state that you're in, a constant state. It deals specifically, though, this morning with an SI that was passed in 2024, October of 2024, SI 126. And essentially what that SI does is to give the minister the power to license entities to harvest baby lobsters or harvest lobsters that are buried, meaning that it has eggs. So a pregnant lobster, a lobster with children. And primarily that is to enable potentially somebody that wants to get into mariculture, aquaculture. The problems obviously with that and the concerns, and I think when you think of mariculture, agriculture, you just think about shrimp farms. You're talking about a mega process. But the science of lobster, for spiny lobster, as Brother George enlightened us, is not similar because it's a more complicated thing. The life cycle is more complicated, and so you are contemplating interfering with a process that is very, very sensitive. The fisher folks who are here, Brother Dale Fairweather, Brother Hopeton West Bay, are part of one of the most structured enterprises, regulated enterprise we have. You're told when you could put the trap. You have one particular time of the year when you could harvest. You have a certain size. And these regulations are to preserve it, but it means that they're in an enterprise that it's a fine-tuned enterprise. So when you just out of the blue open up one whole doorway into that industry, you don't have to be, you don't have to know anything about the fishing industry if you know, but then are the people where if you know right away that you want to do and know what the implications are and sign off on it. That is just fundamental. You know, you can't get away with that. And so I do all of that prep work because it's important, because it's so easy to dismiss people will have to always come on the show to fight for their own. It's easy to start think that then just want make noise. And that's not the case. As soon as Nigel sent me the message, which was, I don't know, was it Friday?
Yes, Friday.
It's like, Brett, it's Monday.
Yeah.
As I read through the Monday.
Yeah.
Because right away, I knew what, it was clear to me right away, like, what the hell? So I just do that to make sure that you, where the listener, watch, understand, them birds are not there just because they want it on TV. And they are because it's a serious a change in a for their livelihood. And the potential for havoc is too high to make them stay quiet. But just to kind of give me a background, because you were saying during the break that something like this has been tried before. I think Brother Westby was saying that you are to fight against this already. So give me a little background on that.
I know some years ago, maybe like 20 years or so ago, they came with the same, like, they came with it under lobster ranching kind of thing. And they were allowing people to harvest undersized lobster, pen them and raise them up so they could sell them to the co-op. But the fishermen, all the cooperative were against that. And the fishermen went up in arms and the government had to back down. But if you want to do something like, say with aquaculture, whatever culture they want to do, I can understand that a limited amount of lobster with berries, like maybe a 10 lobster for a license, to do that. But when it comes to this undersized lobster, total no. Zero. Because that's definitely the effect where we want to harvest.
Exactly. Brother Westby?
Yeah, well, they tried it by me, as I said, and it didn't make sense to me. We got up in arms, like Mr. Dale said. We don't appreciate the way they're treating us right now. Not right now, for the longest, from I was born a fisherman, it looked like. They don't respect us. They do what they want, when they want, and then they shove it down our throats. That's not the way this is supposed to happen. We are the ones out there every day. We are the ones who see the good and the bad in the situation out there. The livelihood is going down. Sargassum is taking the juvenile lobsters along with the illegal fishers. They want to bring something else to take more lobsters from us. That doesn't make any sense.
Sargassum is having an impact on...
A huge impact. The sargassum is very, very deadly right now. When it gathers along the mangroves, it kills the mangroves. The juveniles drift, they go into the mangrove roots and survive. When the sargassum ferments and get dark and black, fishes die. Hundreds of fishes. So I see small lobsters, shrimp, octopus, everything that goes in that fermented water along that mangrove dies. Even the mangrove are dying because they can't breathe. The water and the stink is too much, and they are not saying anything about this. All this so-called research talking, it doesn't make sense because they're doing nothing.
So you mean, so George, help me out, because all the conversations that I've heard about the sargassum is only about what the impact is on the beaches and the tourist experience. I have not heard a lot. This is the first I am really hearing.
I can tell you that it's not just the mangrove, the sargassum is like killing
The reef.
5 feet on top of the reef high and killing everything on the reef. You have octopus,
fish, eels, everything.
and where
everything.
And where the sargassum builds up high on the reef, behind that, the water is stagnant and the water gets hot, so everything goes dead.
It kills even conch. And conch is something hard to die, and it kills the conch.
Judge, why is there not an alarm bell on this like I know there's a response in San Pedro and down south where they're trying to get the sargassum off the beach and all of that. But where is the effort to tackle the sargassum in the mangroves and on the reef? Where is that?
Yeah, it's interesting that both academia or a Ministry of the Blue Economy has not looked at the ecological impacts of sargassum. As we know, people are of the opinion, and I believe so, that it's a function of global warming. Sea surface temperature is rising, 1, and 2, nutrient input into the aquatic ecosystem essentially is fueling these sargassum blooms. What essentially happens is that in the sea itself, in water generally, fishes have 6 times less oxygen than we would have here. And so it's one of the critical functions that once you have something in there that is decomposing, when it decomposes, it pulls oxygen out of the water. And it's adding insult to injury because warm water itself holds less oxygen. The higher the temperature, the less oxygen the water holds, 1, and 2, that sargassum that is decomposing is actually turning that water anoxic, essentially without oxygen. And so, you know, these animals, they're aerobes, they're aerobic animals, and so without oxygen, they're stressed, and it leads to die-offs. It's surprising, I think, that this is essentially the sargassum story, in my view, is an area that is very ripe for very, very in-depth research. I could see PhDs and I could see master's thesis programs that are directed here. I would want to call out UB and Galen University to essentially look at this particular topic.
You know, respect to that, but this is a classic case where a classic demonstration of how important it is, the value of the user experience.
Correct.
As compared to, again, academia has its purpose, no trying to dilute the value of expertise, and nobody ever tries to do that. I think what happens is that we undervalue the value of first-hand accounts and experience, because what you just said to me there, my brother, is like we don't have that on the radar.
Yes.
And the people who are tasked to have that on the radar have not placed it on the radar. It is you who know how it impact your everyday bread and butter. Come and say, yeah, where to go on? This to kill, how will it kill, the impact of it. And I agree with Brother George that academia has to respond, but I think at the level, rather than being preoccupied with setting up somebody for future riches using a new SI, they should be preoccupied in trying to find out how they have an emergency response to mitigate the impact of sargassum on the areas where we don't have all the different things where they negatively impact the stock. Well, not according to them, the stock IRA, but we know different.
Well, they basically just worry about the beaches because of tourism. That the people want to don't property beach, they only worry about beach. So all hear of beach erosion. Yes, the land they go. The sargassum itself, they drink by the sun, yes, we know that, but then they lose their beach where people go lay down and pretty up. But then they study all other stuff where they destroy and they damage. So that's one of the main things. They worry about beaches because that's for their tourism. Tourism is one of the biggest things, yes, I understand, but also fishery, that's one of a very big thing, I believe. And the sargassum, they damage us fishing a lot. I see it every day, every year. You go down because of the same thing I mentioned. The sargassum, they kill juvenile fishes, lobsters, everything.
And mangrove.
And the mangrove, the habitat where they survive.
This brings me right back.
The problem is that the sargassum, the impact, were part our next generation of fish and lobster come from, which is the mangrove. But nobody knows that.
Nobody said nothing about that.
The mangroves is suffering to the point where the big area are dying. And that's only Turnip, where we work, but we don't talk about the rest of the country.
So this brings me right back to the point that you made, Mose, and you were spot on, right? Because I wouldn't say nobody is noticing. We are noticing. The fisher folks are noticing because it's our livelihood and well-being that is being impacted significantly. But we have been saying that the BFF is the only organization that have the structure in place to disseminate information like these. Just before all of this, we had a meeting with the guys from Belize City where this was brought to the forefront. So we have inside knowledge of what is taking place because it's affecting their lives and livelihood. So immediately they come in to the Federation to bring this information to us so that we can relate this information to the regulating authorities. What we have been saying, the central focus of the Blue Bond, of the conservation fund, that $8 million that they are getting a year is only going into consultation. That money is not truly representing what the purpose of it was for. And we are the livelihood and well-being of our fisher folks are being impacted significantly. And because they refused and they denied the Federation access to this money to assist our members to bring these matters to the forefront, we are going to continue to have business as normal and things will not change until we make a paradigm shift from the top. That is when you're going to see major changes in the industry.
So let us be clear what the demands are this morning, June 2nd, from the BFF to the ministry responsible for fisheries. Minister Perez, I believe, is correct. Minister Andrew Perez is responsible. He is the one, I believe, that signed the SI. The BFF, what are the demands as of this morning?
Well, the demands are, we want a seat at the Fisheries Advisory Council. We have been saying this for years. We have the structure, we have the mechanism in place to disseminate information, to take information to that Fisheries Advisory Council so that policies and regulation that governs the fishing sector will have the support, the voice of the fisher folks. We're also demanding that the government, the ministry in particular, look at that SI 126 of 2024, repeal it, have a consultation with the fisher folks in order to get our input, our perspective as to why and how this is marginalizing our fisher folks. It's not benefiting us. And we also want to ensure that we have a seat on the Conservation Fund Board. There should be no reason why an organization that represents the voice of commercial fisher folks should not have a seat on that board, receiving all this money that are impacting the lives of our fisher folks.
Can the SI be made into something that is acceptable, or is it absolutely a case where it must be rescinded? George?
In my view, I think that it needs to be modified. I believe that the egregious aspect, the harmful aspect of the SI is that it is basically saying that they're allowing they're allowing perhaps investors to harvest the same lobsters that will be available to fishers. So I think that it would need to be modified to say that aquaculture should happen, but it should happen in a way where the focus should be on the early life stages of the animal so that you could take it through the entire cycle. There are two aspects to aquaculture. There is the ranching aspect where you go after perhaps the young ones, the early stages, and you raise them up. And then there's a closed cycle where you go from adult to egg to juveniles. What this is doing, this is essentially saying we are shortcutting the process, but shortcutting the process is injuring the livelihood of fishers. The last time this movie happened, and you know movie happens sometime in sequel, in the mid-1990s, fishers were up in arms. Essentially, a license was given to an individual to pen lobsters en masse, and much of these lobsters were near to legal size, just like what is in the regulation. So this is almost like a part two. It needs to be reconsidered, one, but I want to speak to the issue of governance. How can this happen without any consultation that we know of? In terms of a governance structure, what I see is a kind of top-down approach that should have been rescinded without rescind, should have been rescinded since the early 1990s. Remember, in the early 1990s, there was what we call the onset Rio Conference that basically says that if you are making decisions in relation to livelihood, you should and you must consult with the stakeholders. This has not happened.
Would you not also object to the fact that it still, as so many things, comes down to ministerial discretion? How do you have a minister having the power to decide who is qualified and whose project application meets the criteria of being safe environmentally and also dealing with the interests of the fishers? Well, how do you have a situation where one minister, this is a situation that has failed us so many times?
It has, Mose, and I believe what we have is a scenario where there needs to be meaningful reform. The way the industry is structured is that there's a fishery advisory council. I have been in conference with at Fisheries Department over the last couple of days, late last week. And my understanding is that the Fishery Advisory Council, which was called the Fishery Advisory Board, has not met in a long time. And people that are on the council were like, when is it going to meet? Yeah. These are issues that the council should meet. One, two, the other issue is I spent 27 years in fisheries. And one of the things that I tried to do was to move the Fishery Advisory Board from an advisory institution to an end decision-making institution where you're not left with a minister who has no guidance. There are no boundaries. There are no that informs the process by which a minister can make a decision. And that is the gist of the problem, where it's a one-man show that the minister can jump out of bed tomorrow morning and basically say, you know what, I will allow people to fish or to harvest lobsters, including legal size lobsters for ranching. So this is the problem. It's a governance issue at its core, but also I would say that as we talk about endangered species, and everybody, they know that essentially your dolphins and your manatees and your turtles are endangered species, but nobody's keeping track of the fact that your fishers are really the most endangered species here. A lot of fishers are going out of business. One, two, we did a poverty study, was done in the Caribbean some years ago, and the second to the poorest fishers in the region were Belizean fishers. Since then, oil has been found in Guyana, so functionally, I believe that the poorest fishers in the region are Belizeans. Two, I listened to the budget debate last week, and the minister essentially said that the industry the export value of the industry was $36 million. That has to be checked, because I spoke to somebody senior in fisheries who basically said, I don't know where he got that from, but I'm not saying that it's a false allegation. The point is, when you listen to that, you would think that all is well in fisheries, but it is not. We're having a problem with resource depletion. Lobsters are being overharvested, conch are being overharvested. Of 20 species that we looked at, the science, not my opinion, the science is basically saying that 18 of the 20 species have been overharvested and are in decline. And of course, this includes lobster and conch. You can see it in the bottom line, Mose. I think if our fishers want to comment on this, I think it would be interesting to find out what their experience has been in terms of what they're harvesting now versus what they were harvesting 10 years ago.
I don't have to go 10 years ago. I can just tell you The last 3 lobster seasons, my production has fallen to nearly 50%. Every year, like 25 to 30% less. And it keeps going down.
Mine goes down as also like not that much, but as I try to keep have a certain area that I stay and I protect it from thieves and everything else. But it's been down like, I'd say like 20% for the last 5 years or so.
All right. Gentlemen, we're out of time, but I want to thank you for bringing the matter. I hope that the listener and the viewer who has been in tune understands that when we're here having a conversation about the BFF, we are talking about around 3,000 to 4,000 Belizeans who this is how they pay school fees, rent, mortgage. This is how they survive. So the BFF don't know who they are. Correct. BFF large. Yeah. Fisher folk as one part of our everyday economic churning represent a lot of Belizeans. So thank you guys for coming back.
Yes. Thanks for having us.
I'll take a break and come back.
The risk of violence, the fear of violence, the reality of violence towards LGBT persons in Kenya is across the board, across the entire country.
We've had members who had been victims of hate crimes. Well, we would term it as hate crimes because they were attacked because of their gender identity.
There was violence happening to me, pulling my hair down on the floor, and started to beat me. It's okay for them to hurt me or beat me up because the way I am. I didn't report anything to the police, but I keep it inside.
I never told my family about the levels of violence that I experienced. Years and years, I was being mocked, insulted, threatened with harm for being myself.
Welcome to Atlantic Online. In this step-by-step video, we will show you how to unlock your user. Click Unlock User on the personal login page. Enter your username, then click Send OTP. You will receive a 6-digit one-time password OTP via email and SMS. The OTP is valid for 5 minutes. Do not share this OTP with anyone. Enter the OTP, then click Unlock. If you did not receive the OTP, click Resend OTP. And if you still do not receive the OTP, please visit your nearest branch. Your account has now been unlocked successfully, and you can now log in. For more step-by-step videos, view our Atlantic Online playlist on YouTube to learn how to perform your banking transactions. Bank your way with any of our digital channels and save time for what matters most.
Nando's Wholesale is your market leader in Belize's wholesale industry when it comes to high-quality products at the most reasonable and competitive prices. With over 40 years in the wholesale business, Nando's Wholesale embraces the partnership of the hotel industry in Belize by providing world-renowned brands in wines, seasonings, condiments, and cleaners in industrial sizes, as well as small and large kitchen appliances and equipment. Nando's also takes pride in providing one of the quietest and most durable air conditioning systems in Belize with technical support and spare parts. Nando's Wholesale. Professional, reliable, effective, and prompt. Nando's Wholesale always delivers. Visit us at www.nandos.bz or send an email to nandos@nandos.bz. Or, even better yet, give us a call today at 222-500 or 280-8080 to speak to one of our sales representatives today.
Alright, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Mose Hyde hosting on this Monday, 2nd of June 2025. We don't like preach, we know they have to rant, we know they have to talk to yourself, we have to reason with you. Telephone number 280-5848, weekday mornings, that's how we roll. We are on Creme Radio, we are on XTV, we are on our apps, we are on social media, we are on simulcast coverage. If you're getting us on social media, please, man, make sure you subscribe today. Now wait till tomorrow, you got to subscribe today. YouTube people especially, make sure you make the move. Make we build a list of subscribers up. Be one, showing, make it official, show your relationship. Do it today. Good. There's so much similarity between the conversation I was having before the first break and then the one we had after that with the people and our colleagues from out of the BFF. It's the disparity between how we view splashy macro projects as compared to the way how we perceive the collective enterprise of many who are operating at one small, medium level. But I have on call. Good morning, WB. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Greetings, Brother Mose.
Greetings, brother.
Greetings, Belize. Forward to the people who baffle. That's in Garifuna. Now, I just want to touch about 2 cents for a couple things. You mentioned that there's some massive hotel or something is going to be taking place in, where is it, Kichapo?
Yes, sir.
Okay, some time ago I also heard that something like that was taking place. I don't remember quite exactly where, but what people was concerned is that the contractors and who was supposed to do that building in some one of the keys, I don't remember which key, were all foreigners, right? And then that's one of the problems that I always wonder. How can you come from nowhere, from another place, and then you don't want no local people, you want to bring your own people, like the local people have none to make. Like they don't care, and I guess those in authority don't care neither, because that shouldn't be.
A lot of the managers and supervisors of that construction project are indeed coming out of Central America and Mexico. There are Belizeans operating at the lower level, but indeed, a part of their permission involves being able to bring in people to do the actual construction. Yeah.
You see, I call Mexico my second home because I lived there some time. I love that place.
Yes, sir.
That place opened the doors for me in many different ways when I was very young, traveling, looking for. Anyway, the point I want to make, most people say that Mexico for the Mexican, right? And I don't have nothing against that because I realize they are protecting their people. And when you protect your people and you look out after your people, then they will say, oh, you're too nationalist, but that's the way you got to be. Because I tell people, I made a poem, and my poem says, from Belize all over to Belizeans over. Because there's nothing wrong, like in the great United States, if you hire a foreigner, fine, no problem, but don't let your people out. When I was in Mexico, I remember a lot of the business people, mostly are Arabs and Jews, and so they had to abandon their building because the country tell them, if you don't hire local people, you can't say yeah. And some of them have apartments, like 500 apartments for rent, and they start to treat the people bad. They cut off the electricity, they cut off the water, because they say they know they pay the rent. When the government tell them, and if they cannot pay you, they can't pay you. You just give them time until they could pay you. So they decide to cut off the electricity and water. So then they say, okay, we live in. They're going from Mexico, they're going somewhere else. So the Mexican government tell them, if you decide to leave, you leave with only what you brought. You can't go with $1 million if you only bring $500. So they check the bank account and say, if you come, With $1 million, you could go back with your million, but you can't carry 100 million and you only come with one. So they take a licking when it comes to countries like that. So going back to Milana, the free, again, part of my point. Welcome to Belize, don't buy Chinese, land of the free, nothing to we. Because we said it, take a licking. You just say the congratulations to the graduates. Oh, of course, 100%, I there with that. But congratulations to graduates to what? To unemployment? Then when my poor children go there looking for jobs and can't get no job because they don't want to hire them, the only thing solution know that they come international are like BPO, call center. So no matter what you study, no matter how long you kill yourself studying, no matter how much money your poor struggling parents spend on you for studying, you still can't find a good job. I have a daughter the same way. She finished college, she finished this and finished that and finished the other, and you can't find no job.
Got you.
Then again, the next problem is political. But because one party win, so the next party fire the one who hired by the other party. That's a nonsense again. Oh, you know hired by me, by we, so you have to go until your party win again. That don't make no sense to me. Because then people have stranded, and then I'll wrap up with this. Another thing I noticed. Young Creole people study hard, so you have to learn Spanish, you have to this, you have to bilingual. But meanwhile, the people come from over the border, where are no Creole, right? The other type of people, the other hue, they don't need to do a lot of study, and they're all around the work. Because again, our problem now it becomes racial, you know. Our Creole children don't know how to be employed, they need some money in education, but the other one, they just come in and go to work right away. I'll leave you with that, brother.
All right, give thanks. I got to go to my final break, come back for the wrap up on this Monday morning.
Take a deep breath. You feel that energy coursing through your body? That's because of me. I am the rainforest. I produce the air you breathe. I make it rain. I'm also your pharmacy. I'm home to more plants and wildlife than you're ever going to see in your lifetime. I work hard day and night, taking in all the carbon dioxide you produce and turning it into life-giving oxygen. My personality is singular. My biodiversity is mind-blowing. My generosity knows no bounds. But then, so does your greed. I give you everything I have for free. I don't want thanks. I just want respect. I want you to stop acting like I'm just bush. I want you to stop treating me like dirt. I want you to see life, not lumber. I want you to always be able to come to me and find your roots, to unwind, and yes, to always be able to breathe deep. That's a privilege many will pay for, but it's not about money. It's about having a future.
At Atlantic Bank, we stand as more than just a financial institution. We are your partners in progress, dedicated to fostering your success by providing tailored solutions to micro, small, and medium enterprises. Your successes are our triumphs, and every success story deserves to be celebrated. We pledge to stand by you every step of the way. Today, we celebrate the values that define you with your unwavering dedication, steadfast commitment, boundless innovation, resolute work ethic, and unyielding ambition. We will navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and continue building the future together.
Make light work lighter and quicker with Switch technology from Axie Power Tools. Axis Switch technology breaks the bondage of power cords and grants you the luxury of freedom and precision. Switch one battery across all your Axis line power tools effortlessly, allowing for quick and efficient work. Cut the cords. Choose efficiency with Axis Switch technology. Only at Benny's. Quality and savings.
Let's take a journey through the core functions of the Social Security Board. It all starts with registering as an insured person, employer, or self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
All right, we want to thank you for being here with us. We hope you have a great Monday with health and strength. We get up again tomorrow morning for the Tuesday morning edition of the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. We want to acknowledge the team at Creme Radio. We've got Larry G, at XTV, Cliff, the glue, directing this morning, Mr. Alexi Ballard. Have a great Monday. As always, stand strong, stand firm. For now, we're gone!
Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place of calling. Be yourself, see yourself. This is the show, my people. Belize our hope, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, it's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes to be obeyed. And all the things that must happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for